is Nancy Simpson. I'm really glad to be here today sharing with you. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my philosophy, as if I was a philosopher. When I was a little girl, 5 years old, kindergarten, I can remember going into my backyard of my house and looking up at the stars in the sky and saying, "What's it about? Why am I here? What do you want of me?" I was just a little kid. My whole life, you could say, I've been a seeker. I got my undergraduate degree in philosophy from Marquette University. I got a master's degree in the field of mental health because I always wondered, like, why are we here? What's it about? Theology fascinated me. The different belief systems, which were all kind of alike if you think about it. The Muslims, the Jews, the Christians. I don't know that much about the Hindus or the Buddhists, but it's making a connection with the divine. And as far as the Christians go, which I probably know the most about, it's life is about having a relationship of faith with a supreme being through Jesus Christ. And it's more in these belief systems, it's more about your mental ascent. It's more about faith actually than it is about works. There are actually a big segment of evangelical Christianity that believes that works don't even matter. They're filthy rags unto the Lord. That the only thing that matters is that you're saved or born again. And pretty much you can get saved, born again, and do anything you want. Screw up pretty bad, and you're still going to make heaven because the blood of Christ covers those sins. Now, I have a problem with all that. I have a problem that our actions on earth, I have a real problem that they don't matter, that they don't count, that God doesn't really care that much about how we treat our brother. I don't even think that's right. And I want to go to the Bible itself, and I want to go to a couple of stories that Jesus told that really impacted my life in all this. There's only one place in the Bible that talks about an actual judgment, that actually sets a story picture of judgment. And that's at the end of the book of Matthew. And let's paraphrase this for today. Jesus is at the pearly gates, and he has the book of life, and Joe comes along. Joe has died. And Joe goes, "Jesus, here I am. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I have been a good Christian ever since I was a little boy. I'm a deacon in the church. I sing in the church choir. I've taught Sunday school, or if you're Catholic, CCD. I have been never cheated on the little woman, not even once. I'm in the barber shop, there's Playboy, right, never even picked it up. Well, I glanced at the cover, yes, but I never picked it up, not even once. I mean, I'm covered by the blood, your blood, the Son of God. Here I am, find me. And Jesus just looks at him. And Joe was like, "Find me, go ahead, find me in the book of life." Jesus just looks at him. Joe's like, "I'm saved, covered in the blood. Let me in." Jesus looks at him and he says, "Joe, you're not in there. You're not written. Your name is not in the book of life." Is this a sick joke? I just told you, I'm covered by your blood. I was saved. I asked you in my heart. Of course Jesus said, "You're not in there." Joe's like, "What?" And Jesus said, "Let me tell you something, Joe. I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty. You gave me nothing to drink. I was in prison. You never visited me. Now depart from me. I never knew you." Oh my, come on. I never saw you. Hey, if I would have seen you, you could have all the clothes. I would have visited you every day. You could have anything to eat. My wife's a great cook. I never saw you. And Jesus said, Joe, you're right. You never saw me. Whatsoever you did to the least of these my brethren, you did it unto me. Now depart, Joe, never knew you. And what was Jesus saying? He was saying, if you want to serve me, it's not about mental assent, some mind game belief system. Jesus said, if you want to serve me, then serve the least of these. Serve the poor. Serve the homeless. Serve the hungry. Serve the addict. Serve the criminal. If you want to serve me, find the most marginalized, disenfranchised, the saddest people, and love on them. Because he's saying when you love on them, you're serving him. I believe he doesn't care if you call yourself an agnostic, an atheist, a Christian, a Jew. He doesn't really care what label you put on yourself, because I don't think God is a big throbbing ego. You better figure out my name or I'm going to fry you in hell for all eternity. I mean, that's an abuser, for God's sake. I mean, think about it. A throbbing ego. You better figure out my name is Jesus, Allah, Krishna. And if you can't figure out my name, I'm going to burn you forever. Really? I mean, really? Is that an abuser? No. What God is saying to us is if you want to serve me, if you want to love me, then love your brother. One time a young wealthy ruler came to Jesus, and he was like, Jesus, tell me what commandments should I really focus on? Tell me, Jesus. And there was a crowd of people around him. Tell me which are the big ones. And Jesus looked at the young ruler, and this is what he said. He said, son, he said, love God with your whole heart and love your neighbor as yourself. And he said, if you do those two things, you will fulfill the entire law of God. He was talking to a Jew. And you know how many rules the Jews have? How many commandments they have? Lots. But Jesus said this. He said, if you just love God and your neighbor as yourself, all of the other commandments are fulfilled. Story 3. There was a priest, a rabbi, and he's on his donkey and he's driving along, and he sees a guy by the side of the road that's been robbed and plundered. And he rides by and he says, blessings on you. This is your lucky day. I'm a rabbi. I'm going to pray for you. And then another biggie in the synagogue rides by on the donkey and he sees the guy and he says, blessings, blessings. Oh my God, blessings on you. I'll be thinking about you, kid. Rides on. And then Jesus says, a Samaritan from the hills of Samaria, those were heathen, a non-believer, rides by on his donkey, sees the man in the ditch that's been robbed and beat up, gets off his donkey, goes and ministers to his wounds, puts him on the donkey, takes him to an inn, and he says to the innkeeper, he says, keep this man, I'll pay for it until he gets well. And Jesus said, that is the neighbor, an unbeliever, a heathen. But that was the neighbor. He had love in his heart. In the New Testament, it says, true religion, undefiled in the eyes of God, is going to church? Nope. True religion, undefiled in the eyes of God, is learning correct doctrine. Nope. True religion in the eyes of God is getting saved. Nope. It says in the New Testament, true religion in the undefiled in the eyes of God is caring for the widows and the orphans. It's doing. Faith without works is dead. God's love. God is love. If we wake up and we love our neighbor, we love the unlovely, we love the marginalized, we become the arms and the legs of God. Whether you call him Krishna, Jesus, Allah, Yahweh, we become God when we love. It's all about love, not judgment, not correct doctrine. It's about love. And I would encourage everyone that's listening to these words just to open up your soul and your being to loving your neighbor and being mindful of those around you who may need a smile, a meal, a pat on the back, a greeting. Let's all become lovers of each other and mankind. Thanks a lot for listening.